Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, I'm Wawodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, governorship election heats up in Edo State as PDP flags off campaign in Nubiaja. APC takes campaign to Ikwobaoka, and Labour Party candidate Olumide Akpata speaks about his plans for the people of the state. INEC leadership meets heads of political parties in Abuja ahead of the September 21 governorship election in Edo State, fixes September the 12th for the signing of peace accord by candidates. And NLC President Joe Ajero returns to Labour House after interrogation by the police over allegations of criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, cybercrime and treasonable felony as Labour holds planned procession.
On business news, federal government signs memorandum of understanding with Boeing to help Nigerian airlines acquire modern aircraft.
On sports news tonight, UEFA honors Cristiano Ronaldo with a trophy for being the Champions League's all-time top scorer with 140 goals.
And from Abuja, the nation's capital, troops neutralize 1,166 terrorists and arrest 1,096 others in the month of August across its theaters of operation.
And in international news from London, 5 more Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces in a second day of raids in the occupied West Bank, with the UN calling for de-escalation.
The People's Democratic Party, the PDP in Edo State, are leaving no one in doubt about their determination to retain the governorship seat at Dennis Osadebe Avenue. At the flag-off of the campaign in Ubiaja community in Esa Southeast local government area, party leaders presented the candidate Asue Godalo, who they say is the best for the state, given the current developmental strides achieved by the Godwin Obaseki administration.
Ubiaja in Esa Southeast local government area in Edo State is a prominent town with a large voting population and the natural choice for the flag-off of the Edo State PDP governorship rally. The turnout of party leaders and supporters at the Ubiaja Township Stadium attests to the strength of the ruling party in the state. Before the speakers start campaigning, the crowd dances to songs dropped by party leaders, and this was not in short supply. The wife of the governor then mounts the stage with other women, telling the supporters which way to go in the coming election.
The only man wey sabi wey fit do the work to take us higher, to take Edo from this level to a higher level. Now him be the PDP candidate, Dr. Asue Igodalo.
For elder statesman and PDP leader Chief Tommy Kimi, the race for the governorship position of the state is a clear one between a forward-looking candidate and the others.
Rest assured that we have a candidate who is ready. He has gone around the country. He has gone around the diaspora. He has gone around everywhere. And they all accept him. I announce to them that no worry, no shaking, that we shall win the election. The next governor of Edo State will be Asue Igodalo.
Another leader of the party also echoes the views of Chief Tommy Kimi.
It is Asue Igodalo and Ogie Osarodio that are on the ballot. These are the best performers that we know. They are clearly the best performers. They are clearly the best administrators.
The governor of the state, Godwin Obaseki, assures indigents of their candidate's commitment towards developing the state.
For somebody to give up so much, not be money they find. Not be fame he dey find. Not be fortune he dey find. All he gets na love and service for him people. So the person wey I dey hand over to, I know him. I know who he be. I know say he no go disappoint.
The party's governorship candidate, Asue Godalo, speaks on his plans for the state.
We go create an Edo state where person wey wan chop go chop, person wey wan work go work, person wey wan move go move. Nobody go fear to move. So help us God. So we beg all of una, make una continue having faith, make una dey with us, make una support us, make una see light follow am.
As the governorship election draws near, the PDP will be looking to intensify their efforts to convince the people of Edo State that their candidate is the right man for the job.
And still talking politics in Edo State, this time with the All Progressives Congress. On Tuesday, they have continued their campaign in wards within Edo South Senatorial District with a visit to Ologo and Ute in Ipobalka local government area. The governorship candidate and leaders of the party assured the people of these areas that a vote for the APC will translate into economic development, especially in critical areas like education, health, and infrastructure.
Ologo Ward 10 in the Ipobalka local government area of Edo State was the first stop for the APC campaign team on Tuesday as it continues to woo the electorate across the state. It's a riverine and agrarian community. For this reason, the team's campaign promises center around helping the people maximize their potential and improve security in the area.
Monday we give special emphasis to ensure that Ologo gets all those basic things that will address the needs of our women, those who are traders, the young ones who want to go to school, those who have finished school, how to get them engaged, and above all, that he will equip the marine police to ensure that there is security.
The Minister of Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momo, maintains that the party is of one voice, backing their candidates.
I can assure you that with Monday as governor, so many things that have eluded you will get it. And for me to be here, I'm from Abuja. Everybody is here, working towards Monday becoming a governor.
The governorship candidate Monday Okpewolu's assurances address recovery of land for the community and other issues he considers important.
When we come, we will employ over 5,000 teachers. We will provide you now with primary health care for this ward. We will build hospitals for here. Now, not say they don't teach you land finish. When I want the land back, you can now vote for me. That land will come back.
Ute community, also in the Ipobalka local government area, is another community the APC campaign train touches. Again, promises to bring solutions to challenges in the area are made as they seek the support of the people come 21st September.
Government house. This road, I go come by myself. As they walk, I go the patrol here with them.
It's nightfall when the day's campaign activities close. However, work continues for the team as several places across the state are yet to be visited.
Meanwhile, the Labour Party candidate in the Edo State governorship election, Mr. Olumide Akpata, senior advocate of Nigeria, says that he has a better chance in the 21st September race. Mr. Akpata explains that Edo citizens are all gearing up to vote for his party as he is a candidate to beat in the election. He was a guest on our political program, Politics Today.
I assure you, I will press the tape. We are going to win. And so those who are hoping and praying that we run out of steam, they have something else to come in for them. It is all about the parties. Labour Party has picked me. And so at the end of the day, all of this is just mere conjecture. On the 21st of September, the people of Edo State will let you know whether they are happy with the Benin man continuing in government. And the people are saying they are ready to take a chance with Labour Party, irrespective of where the Labour Party candidate comes from, because they know that we have a track record of performance. And so based on that, they are ready because they have seen the other parties. It's just abysmal performance or lack of performance. In a state that earns 16 billion naira every month, a state that is owing close to 600 billion, nothing of note, the people are in abject poverty, they are less concerned with where the candidate comes from. Because so far they have seen that that really means nothing. And they are believing in our party and they are ready to come out. And like I said, they are going to serve this current government, the two incumbents, they're going to serve them hot breakfast on election day because the people are believing again. They were despondent. They despaired because of the experience of 2023. But they have seen that it is possible. It is within their reach.
While ahead of the September 21st governorship election in Edo State, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed September the 12th for the signing of peace accord by candidates and political parties participating in that election. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, stated this at a meeting with chairmen and secretaries of political parties in Abuja. The electoral body also informed political parties that it will conduct a mock voter accreditation and voting exercise in 6 local government areas on September the 10th to determine the efficacy of the bimodal voter accreditation system, the BVAS.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, arrives the INEC conference room, venue for the meeting with chairmen and secretaries of political parties. The meeting is to update political parties of preparations so far for the forthcoming Edo governorship election and to inform the parties about the activities lined up before the election day.
The signing of the peace accord for the Edo State governorship election will take place on Thursday, 12th September 2024 in Benin City. A number of other activities have been scheduled. On Tuesday, 10th September 2024, the Commission will conduct a mock accreditation of voters to test-run the deployment of the beavers for the election, as well as the upload of results to the INEC result viewing portal, the INEC.
On the part of the political parties, the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State is another avenue for the electoral body to regain the confidence of the electorates by ensuring that the elections are credible.
The Edo State gubernatorial polls will be a litmus test for the Ondo State government election scheduled to hold Saturday, 16 November 2024. Setting the integrity of INEC is at stake. The Commission should justify the confidence citizens should pose in it to conduct free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive, and peaceful elections. The success of these elections will rebuild trust in the electoral process and boost voters' turnout.
There are over 2.6 million registered voters expected to participate in the Edo governorship election, which is only 3 weeks away, and the Independent National Electoral Commission has extended the collection of PVCs till Sunday the 8th of September to enable all intending voters to have access to their voter cards.
In part 2, after the break, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, calls for stronger collaboration between federal and state governments to drive sustainable national development. Please join us again. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live in Channels Television from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Governorship election heats up in Edo State as PDP flags off campaign in Obiaja. APC takes campaign to Kobaoka, and Labour Party candidate Olumide Akpata speaks about his plans for the people of the state. INEC leadership meets heads of political parties ahead of September 21 governorship election in the state, fixes September the 12th for the signing of peace accord by candidates in Edo State. And NLC President Joe Ajaero returns to Labour House after interrogation by the police over allegations of criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, cybercrime, and treasonable felony. 5 more Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces in the second day of raids in the occupied West Bank, with the United Nations calling for a de-escalation. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Mr. Joe Ajaero, has returned to the Labour House, and that's after being questioned by police over alleged charges including criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, cybercrime, and treasonable felony. Mr. Ajaero's lead counsel, Mr. Femi Falana, said the NLC bus was only questioned about the activities of another tenant in the Labour House building, not the alleged charges. When asked if he will press charges over these allegations, Mr. Ajaero said that he will be decided pending the outcome of future events. Our correspondent Benny Ark reports.
NLC affiliate Union President, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, civil society leaders and lawyers gathered for solidarity prayer and procession with the NLC President, Mr. Joe Ajaero, following his invitation by the police. Mr. Ajaero is summoned over allegations of criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, and treason. He rescheduled his police questioning from August 20 to August 29. In his remarks, the NLC General Secretary, Mr. Emmanuel Ibuaja, defends Mr. Ajaero, saying he is a leader, not a terrorist.
Anybody that knows Ajaero knows that those allegations are baseless. Ajaero is not a labor leader that hides his intentions. He puts all up his cards up front on the negotiating table. He's firm, he's consistent, so he doesn't need to go behind to do any stuff.
As crowd of workers gathered at Labour House to support NLC leader Mr. Ajaero and begin the procession, they were told to stay back by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, as he accompanies Mr. Ajaero and a few others to the Nigerian Police Intelligence Response Team headquarters for questioning.
We are going to the police abattoir together with the President of the Congress. We will appreciate if you all wait behind. I can assure you we are not going to be long.
After the questioning, Mr. Ajaero returned to Labour House, where he's received by his supporters, and he gave his remarks.
We have gone there and we are back. I just want to confirm to you that as a citizen, I've gone there and we are back here. But what is important is the circumstances, that took me to that place. Or whatever is the case, we're out to continue the struggle. What we had is quite different from what was contained in the invitation letter. Wow. So they said that the NSC president, they just want to ask him one or two questions in respect to the tenant that is here. And he just narrated what he knew about it. That is just it. So that does not mean that we are going to relent, because we don't know what will come up next.
Meanwhile, in Zamfara State, members of the Labour Congress stormed the police headquarters in Gusau, the state capital, to express solidarity with the Labour president. Solidarity forever, for the union are watching the situation to decide the next action. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.
President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for Beijing, China on an official visit. According to a statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity Ajurin Gilali, President Tinubu, who left the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport this afternoon, will have a brief layover in the United Arab Emirates. In China, the president will meet with President Xi Jinping. He will hold meetings with Chinese business leaders on the sidelines of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. President Tinubu is being accompanied by senior government officials on this trip. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. George Akume, has called for stronger collaboration between the federal and state governments to drive sustainable national development. He made the call at the 2024 first meeting of the Forum of Secretaries of the Government of the Federation and State Governments, which held in Abuja. Our State House correspondent, Emperor Simon, reports.
This forum brings together secretaries to the governments from across the 36 states and the secretary to the government of the Federation. It focuses on improving policy coordination and implementation for sustainable national development, which, according to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, should be at the core of the roles played by the SSGs.
As secretaries to governments of states, you bear the immense responsibility of translating national policies into concrete actions at the state level. Your roles are crucial in tailoring these policies to the unique needs of your respective states.
In his presentation, the former Senate President Pius Any advocates the institutionalization of the office of the secretaries to the government of the Federation and state governments.
The first step to institutionalizing the roles of SSG or SGF is first to institutionalize the office by law. Two, my second advice. The advice of the Attorney General of the Federation should be sought on how to establish a common repository for the entire government of Nigeria, that is the three arms, and possibly including the states.
The meeting also provides an opportunity for some ministers to brief about the economic progress so far made under the current federal government.
Major changes have been made that are increasing government revenue, and not by increasing taxes, not by increasing any charges, but by diligently bringing into the federal purse, in particular, what is due to the federal government, as opposed to leaving it uncollected, leaving it unrequested in many cases.
For competitiveness of our economy, we have embarked on a move away from PMS to CNG, so that Nigeria as a country can be energy competitive.
The insights shared at this meeting are expected to strengthen the synergy between the two tiers of government in a way that will drive socio-economic growth and development of the country. Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
I will turn our attention to security matters now as we head over to our Abuja studios where Victoria Longjon is standing by. Hello, Victoria.
Hello, Anne. The military says its troops have neutralized 1,166 terrorists and arrested 1,096 others in the month of August across its theaters of operations. The Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Edward Buba, said this during the military's briefing in Abuja. According to him, the troops also rescued 721 kidnapped hostages, recovered 15,234 ammunitions, and denied all theft of an estimated sum of over 5 billion naira. He notes that the motivation of the terrorists is getting lower in the northeast, which is leading to massive surrender and has enabled farmers return to their farms.
This month, troops neutralized 419 terrorists across all theaters of operations. They arrested 767 suspects while rescuing 448 kidnapped hostages. Additionally, troops recovered 278 weapons, recovered over 11,000 assorted ammunition, and denied the oil theft of an estimated sum of over 4 billion naira during the month of August 2024. We have rejigged our operations to be able to accommodate us providing protection for farmers in the farmland. The timing was at the offset of the rainy season, so that, as we know, we are faced with the issue of food in the country. And what better way to begin to address that issue than to make it possible for our farmers to go to the farms. So we provide protection for them, to be able to go to the farm and farm.
Meanwhile, Nigerian army troops conducting fighting patrols in Kaduna State have neutralized 8 bandits in Birnin-Gwari local government area. According to Samuel Aruwan, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, the troops neutralized 7 bandits during a patrol in Kampanindoka general area. Upon arrival, they engaged with the bandits. Now, during the operation, the troops recovered several items, including 3 AK-47 rifles, 8 AK-47 magazines, 4 empty and 4 loaded, with a total of 120 rounds of 7.6mm ammunition, 1 magazine carrier, 6 motorcycles, 3 mobile phones, 2 Balfeng radio sets, and 3 pairs of civilian clothes. The troops also encountered bandits in the Gayam general area, where they neutralized 1, while others likely escaped with gunshot wounds. Still ahead on the news at 10, federal government signs a memorandum of understanding with Boeing to help Nigerian airlines acquire modern aircraft. That's on business news to join us again. To the news at 10, governments of 6 northeast states have initiated programs to boost agricultural value chain activities to enhance food security in the region, in a partnership event organized to woo entrepreneurs and investors into the vast agricultural potentials of the region. The governors say the over 200,000 square meters of arable land and the demographics of inhabitants, who are mostly farmers, are critical resources to tackle the rising food insecurity in the Northeast and the country in general.
With the theme, The Future, the program aims to facilitate trade and private sector investment in agricultural business in the Northeast. Keying into the Borno State Government's 25-year development plan, an aid organization in collaboration with the various ministries, departments and agencies is training small-scale agro-business holders on various value chain activities geared towards providing food sufficiency, job and employment, and contribute to the socio-economic development of the states and the country. Business owners, investors, and entrepreneurs are also hosted to a panel discussion to share experiences and cross-breed ideas.
Our vision is to build a secure, competitive agro-business and commercial hub anchored on prosperous, dignified people and sustainable development.
Displaying various agricultural products at the venue of the event to attract investors, the organizers and the state government advocate a future of self-sufficiency, self-dependence, and trans-border trade to restore the glorious agricultural past of the region.
Again, it's really about promoting agribusiness. We believe that this is a driver of economic impact, supporting smallholder farmers. And what the activity seeks to do is to draw in private sector investors. We have a panel going on with the private sector. We have a number of seed companies who have come into Borno State to invest. We have created about 12,000 jobs from various investments that have come up.
The Director General of the Northeast Governors Forum also speaks on the viability of the Northeast.
Mercy Corps have found it very, very wise to hold these type of meetings, to sort of let out and promote the Northeast on behalf of all the state governments, okay? Investment, especially international investment, is what is going to move our economies further, especially as we're trying to recover from the insurgency.
So far, the aid organization, Mercy Corps, has trained 381 seed producers, 70 seed sales agents in Borno, and have carried out 12 agri-input fairs across the 6 states of the Northeast to drive home the agro-business initiative.
Newly sworn-in president of the Nigeria Bar Association, senior advocate of Nigeria, Afamosigwe, has promised that the association under his watch will hold governments at all levels accountable, especially the federal and state governments. He says his administration will work towards ensuring that government policies and programs meet the yearnings and aspirations of the people as they relate to the provision of good governance, transparency in financial expenditures, reducing drastically the cost of governance, and ensuring that the welfare of the people is given topmost priority. Osigwe gave these assurances while delivering his inaugural speech at the inauguration ceremony of the 32nd President and the national officers of the NBA held today in Lagos. He said, quote, "We will strive to ensure that government responds appropriately to the challenges of security and lives of property, respect for the fundamental rights and freedom, the provision of gainful employment and all basic amenities of life, especially food, shelter, clothing, qualitative and affordable education, healthcare, and other infrastructure, as well as access to justice." End of quote.
We elected into office at a time when our nation, Nigeria, stands at a very critical moment in its history and evolution. We face a multitude of challenges ranging from issues of administration of justice and the rule of law to socio-economic problems. As legal practitioners, we occupy a unique position in society, one that enables us to effect positive changes in society and uphold the principles of justice, equity, and fairness. We must ensure that the law serves all Nigerians, irrespective of their background, status, or affiliation. Under my watch, NBA shall hold governments at all levels accountable, including and especially the federal and state governments. We work towards ensuring that government policies and programs meet the yearnings and aspirations of our people as they relate to the provisions of good governance, transparency in financial expenditure, reducing drastically the cost of governance, and ensuring that the welfare of our people is given topmost priority. We will strive to ensure that government responds appropriately to the challenges of security of lives and property, respect for the fundamental rights and freedoms, the provision of gainful employment, and all the basic amenities of life, especially food, shelter, clothing, qualitative and affordable education, healthcare, and other infrastructure.
And that's it from Abuja. It's now back to you, Anne, for the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Victoria. The Enugu State Governor, Peter Mbah, has inaugurated the committee for the implementation of the new national minimum wage for civil and public servants in the state, giving the committee a maximum of 1 month to submit its report. Inaugurating the committee, Governor Mbah reiterated his commitment to workers' welfare, asking the committee to consult widely with relevant stakeholders.
We expect, as terms of reference, for you to do a comprehensive review of the salary chart of the all categories and cadres of workers, both at the state and the local government level, the unified local government system, using the existing state salary chart as a guide. We also expect that in the course of this job, you're going to consult and engage the relevant MDAs, including the key officers. So we need to show a collaborative approach so that we get the people take ownership of this assignment at the time that you generate your report. So nobody would claim that they were left out. So we need to employ a collaborative approach in executing this assignment. And then finally, we would expect to have a detailed report submitted within a month. So this is a task that you must take seriously. We want to get on with the implementation of the new national minimum wage.
Growth and Development Limited, GDL, has introduced the Rent-to-Own program, House Money, aimed at helping Nigerians own their homes through a combination of equity and home finance funding within a maximum of 15 years. The product, which was unveiled in Lagos, is considered a bold intervention in home ownership financing, representing the company's vision of creating wealth and transforming the society.
Lack of affordable housing options for low and middle income earners remains a major factor driving Nigeria's housing deficit.
This is a global scheme and the rest of the world will catch up with this very soon.
But with the introduction of house money, Growth and Development Limited seeks to potentially address this and other limiting factors.
For the house money scheme, this is just about to make your home ownership dreams a reality.
House money is a rent-to-own ownership plan designed to empower account holders to acquire homes at a single-digit cost of funds, when subscribers pay a fixed amount monthly.
We have two basic variants. We have GDL House Money Classic. Those are people who work in large standard organizations, you understand? And they are people who can conveniently drop as minimum amount is 80,000 naira on a monthly basis. And then we have another variant that is House Money Community. And what we are saying is that between 10 and 25 of you can come together and to say, look, we want to live together in an estate. You contribute for 2 years. After 2 years, GDL will start constructing your community.
We are set to make a major contribution.
The executive vice chairman at GDL, Kola Ayeye, explains that the company is guided by its philosophy of effecting social impact through the deployment of capital for shared prosperity.
It's important that we make money, and we make money. But in order to making money, we think impact is important. And what for financial institutions, the most important way financial institutions can make impact is by deploying capital for shared prosperity. And you cannot deploy capital for shared prosperity until you make it possible for a lot of people to access affordable money to own their own homes.
Stakeholders also regard GDL Home Financing Solution as a positive response to housing crisis in Nigeria.
Before I came here, we did a very, very strict analysis, a thorough synthesis of what this organization is all about, what the policy is all about, and we will be very, very, very happy to partner with them because we believe that it's a product that has integrity and has sustainability as well.
GDL is a non-bank diversified financial institution which has been operating for over a decade. The company says its mission of providing financial solutions to strengthen and expand the middle class has guided its values and led to unique product offerings providing economic value and returns for clients.
Let's find out the latest development in the aviation sector by the federal government. Dominic Iwewu is standing by to take us through the world of business.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Anne. On business news, the federal government has signed an MOU with one of the world's leading aircraft manufacturers, Boeing, to support Nigerian airlines in acquiring modern aircraft. The signing ceremony, led by Aviation Minister Mr. Festus Keyamo, took place on August the 28th in Seattle, United States, with key aviation stakeholders. The MOU includes leveraging Boeing's network for financing, providing technical support, and offering training to improve airline operations and business practices. Boeing will also collaborate with Nigerian aviation authorities to enhance safety and efficiency, working with international regulators to strengthen oversight. Meanwhile, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has given traders in the country a one-month deadline to reduce exploitative prices on goods. The FCCPC Vice Chairman, Mr. Tunji Bello, made this known during a stakeholders meeting in Abuja. Mr. Bello highlighted a case where a blender costs over 944,000 naira in Lagos compared to $89 in Texas, criticizing such pricing practices as harmful to the economy. The FCCPC says it will start enforcement actions after the moratorium ends, with severe penalties for violators. The Consumer Protection Agency therefore urges stakeholders to cooperate and correct their pricing practices before enforcement begins. The domestic equities market made a rebound in today's trading session as bullish sentiments persist in oil and gas and the consumer goods sector. John Mekwa has more.
Thank
Thank you so much, Dominic. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stock market report. Well, the recovery that was made at intraday was sustained to the close of Thursday straight. Thankfully, 117 billion naira was added to the market cap at the close of trade. And so we see the all-share index capturing this with a 0.21% increase on the all-share index to close at 96,407.88. Market cap retains that 55 trillion naira level after that again that we saw. Now, those who made this possible to the gainers, Owando is still in the news, just keeping that fire burning. And so we see that today the share price went up almost 10%, 9.98% to close at 69.95 kobo. Also following that is Julius Berger. Investors here have been smiling for a bit now, 9.97% increase to close at 172 naira 60 kobo. And then we see insurance picking up and still sustaining that growth. So Cornerstone Insurance is representing them today, 9.88% to close at 2 naira 78 kobo. On the flip side, we see Japan Gold has been thriving with O&O. Well, today we saw them go down. They lost 7.41% to close at 2 naira 55 kobo. Score as well as Tantalizers also made up the top losers for today. But this of the bear from coming out today.
Now let's take a look at the closing numbers for other major global equities.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Dominic. The German government has announced a security package including knife bans and tougher asylum measures. And this is coming after 3 people were fatally stabbed by 26-year-old Syrian refugees at a street festival in the city. Here's Simon Pizzi with other international news and around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. 5 more Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces in a second day of raids in the occupied West Bank, with the UN calling for de-escalation. The Israel Defense Forces said they were 5 terrorists who had hidden inside a mosque in Tulkarm, near the boundary with Israel. Israel began what it said was a major counter-terrorism operation in the West Bank on Wednesday. There have been conflicting death tolls as the operation unfolded across multiple cities. The Palestinian Health Ministry said on Thursday that 12 people had been killed in IDF attacks so far. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has called on Israel to immediately halt its operation, saying it was fueling an already explosive situation. Paris prosecutors say the Telegram boss and founder Pavel Durov has been placed under formal investigation in France as part of a probe into organised crime on the messaging app. Mr. Durov, aged 39, has not been remanded in custody but placed under judicial supervision and has to pay a €5 million deposit. The Russian-born billionaire, who is also a French national, also has to show up at a French police station twice a week and is not allowed to leave French territory. Mr. Durov was first detained upon arrival at Le Bourget airport north of Paris last Saturday under a warrant for offences related to the app. Western technology and finance are helping Ukraine carry out hundreds of long-range strikes inside Russia. That is despite NATO allies still refusing to give Ukraine permission to use Western-supplied munitions to do so, mostly because of fears of escalation. Ukraine has been stepping up its long-range strikes inside Russia over the past few months, launching scores of drones simultaneously at strategic targets several times a week. The targets include Air Force bases, oil and ammunition depots, and command centres. The British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, says he wants a wider reset on UK-EU relations during a visit to Paris, where he met with French President Emmanuel Macron. The two leaders also discussed Ukraine, the situation in the Middle East, and the French-British bilateral relationship. The Prime Minister was in Paris after a visit to Berlin on Wednesday, where he and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz agreed on an ambitious treaty covering issues from defence to trade. That would be part of a reset of British relations with the EU.
Obviously, I had a bilateral with the President whilst I'm here to discuss a number of issues. Obviously, there are foreign policy issues which are pressing. So we discussed the situation in Ukraine, as you would expect, situation in the Middle East, bilateral issues in terms of trade and defence and security, but also the wider reset.
At least 28 people have died and more than 24,000 have been relocated in the western Indian state of Gujarat since Saturday after heavy rains led to massive flooding. Several rivers and reservoirs are overflowing as water levels have crossed the danger mark. The Indian Army and National Disaster Response teams are carrying out relief and rescue operations in the worst hit areas. The state is on high alert as the Weather Department has predicted heavy rains to continue over the next few days. Meanwhile, a powerful typhoon has made landfall in Japan with 3 people already confirmed dead. Shanshan landed in Kagoshima Prefecture in the southern island of Kyushu at around 8 a.m. local time. The Japanese Meteorological Agency has issued its rare special warning for the most violent storms, warning of landslides, flooding and large-scale damage. High winds of up to 252 kilometers per hour have also been reported on the island. More than 5 million people in the south of the country have been told to evacuate. And a range of extraordinary photos have been highly commended in this year's Wildlife Photographer of the Year. This manatee and its calf drifting underwater, taken by Dr. Jason Gully in Hunter Springs in Florida, is among the entrants. Meanwhile, Jose saw this stoat jump mid-air as an expression of exuberance as the small mammal hurled itself around in a fresh snowfall in France. The competition's winning photographs will be announced on the 8th of October, followed by an exhibition at the Natural History Museum showcasing 100 photographs. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Many thanks indeed, Simon. Let's talk sports now. Team Nigeria's para badminton players have kick-started their Paralympic campaign on a good note earlier today. Now, first to get on court was Eniola Bolaji, who easily dispatched India's Mandeep Kaur 21-8, 21-14 in a Group B battle, almost in a similar fashion. Jeremiah Nana dispatched Marcel Adam of Germany in 2 straight sets of 21-12, 21-15 in a match that lasted for 28 minutes. The Champions League now the all-time leading goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo, has been honored with a special award from UEFA President Alexander Ceferin in recognition of his remarkable legacy of the world's most prestigious competition. Earlier today, Ronaldo's achievements in Europe's Premier Club competition over the course of more than 18 years were recognized during the inaugural 2024-25 UEFA Champions League 36-team league phase draw ceremony in Monaco. The former Sporting Lisbon, Manchester United, Real Madrid and Juventus forward has scored 140 goals in the Champions League in 183 appearances, 11 goals clear of Lionel Messi. Well, let's stay with the Champions League as holders. Real Madrid will face Liverpool away and host Borussia Dortmund in a repeat of last season's final in the league stage of the new look Champions League following today's draw. Every team will play 8 games against 8 different opponents in the new format of Europe's elite club competition, with all 36 clubs now put together in one league rather than split into groups. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, winners of the competition in 2023, will play at home to Italian champions Inter Milan and go to both PSG and Juventus. In tennis, former world number 1 and 2016 runners-up Karolina Pliskova suffered an ankle injury and was forced to quit her US Open second round match after just 3 points earlier today. The Czech turned her left ankle and was unable to continue with her 5th-seeded opponent Jasmine Paolini, declared the winner with the score at 0-0.
And that's your Sports News Tonight. I'm Kelly Egiga. It's back to Anne.
Thank you, Kelly. And the main news again. The People's Democratic Party, the PDP in Edo State, today flagged off its campaign in Obiaja, just as the APC campaigned in Ifobalka local government area, while Labour Party candidate Olumide Akpata reeled out his plans for the people of the state. We also told you that the INEC leadership met with heads of political parties ahead of the September 21 governorship election in Edo State, fixed September the 12th for the signing of peace accord by the candidates. And NLC President Joe Ajaero returned to the Labour House after interrogation by the police over allegations of criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, cybercrime, and treasonable felony. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Have a wonderful night rest.